2, 1.
Well, we have made it to Friday.
And just a shout out, we had the lipstick cam.
Yes, we did. Yeah, director, Mr. Flowers out there.
He's not a
giving
fan
us
of
the
it,
lipstick. Thank you very much, Robert, for helping us out today and being with us as all days. As everyone, welcome to KSAT News Now. We're streaming and podcasting from the KSAT newsroom in sunny downtown San Antonio.
Wow,
Why are you giving me that look?
First day of fall, and it definitely didn't feel like it when I walked out the door this morning, but we'll get to that in a bit. But this morning, the fallout from a wild sports story, a former Spurs player and coach, now with the Celtics, is in some deep trouble. More on this ahead.
That's right. Plus, ghostly nurses outside your door, bathtubs filling up on their own, even with blue water, reportedly. A San Antonio hotel makes the list for most haunted in the country.
And I have a big question about that because I don't know what is said to go on in that hotel.
Oh yeah,
so
it's pretty freaky stuff. Yeah, Freaky Friday stuff.
But the fight for parking on St. Mary's Strip heats up. I'm sure you've in some way or another have dealt with this in the past, what business owners are saying about a proposed parking program.
All right, but first we're going to start with a big local story that's involving our city council. Mayor Ron Nirenberg is investigating personal attacks made by a public official ahead of a city budget vote yesterday, and this involves District 1 Councilman Mario Bravo and District 7 Councilwoman Ana Sandoval.
So Bravo allegedly made personal insults against Sandoval based on a previous relationship that reportedly left Sandoval in tears, and we're referring to those claims, that outburst that was made.
All right, so Bravo claims it was Sandoval's flip-flop on supporting his plan to use CPS Energy revenues for climate-related projects that kind of led to this outburst. Sandoval abstained, which means that the motion to delay spending this money failed.
This all happened before the actual vote, but even during the meeting itself, Bravo was visibly angry, so much so that the city attorney, Andy Segovia, interrupted Bravo to tell him to stop referring to Councilwoman Sandoval.
All right, so yeah, some personal things there being said. So Bravo issued a statement to his council colleagues saying that, quote, all members of council deserve to be treated with respect at all times. In this instance, I fell short of that. I regret it and wholeheartedly apologize to Councilwoman Sandoval, the rest of my council colleagues, and all of the residents of District 1, end quote.
So Sandoval's office said she will not be commenting on this incident as of right now. And again, Mayor Ron Nirenberg is going to be looking into this, so there will be updates and action is supposed to be taken, or at least some announcement made as early as today.
Yeah, definitely a story that we will continue to follow. And again, in this instance, obviously, Mario Bravo facing a lot of backlash for taking this for making this personal in this public setting. And again, he has to answer now to all of his constituents, and we'll see what the mayor has to say about this later today.
You know, on social media, last point about this before we move on, but on social media, there was one comment that really resonated, and it said, no matter what the agreement maybe behind closed doors would have been between the two, at the end of the day, Sandoval, both of their jobs is still listen to the constituents. So was she listening to the constituents? Is that what led to her abstaining from that vote? You know, a lot to go there, but she's not commenting on this. She does not want to comment. Part of her statement said that what she does want to focus on is the incredible investment City Council made that will invest $10 million a year towards climate action.
Yeah. So you hate to see these things get personal and like that, and tax in.
Unprofessional.
Very unprofessional there, and that is something that we will follow throughout the rest of the day. But moving on to a top story from the sports world, and really this is a story that's been trending all over the place, all over social media. The Boston Celtics have officially suspended head coach Ime Udoka for a full year after reports came out that he had an improper relationship with another member of the organization.
The Celtics said Udoka violated team policies. He's also been banned from all team activities and facilities. The Celtics also did not confirm whether Udoka would even return after this year-long suspension.
Yeah, this is unprecedented and really a stunning development for the Celtics head coach. Now, you may remember him. He spent many years here as a Spurs player under Greg Popovich, and then later became an assistant coach, one of the most highly regarded assistant coaches on the staff, and he was also part of the assistant staff when the Spurs won the 2014 championship.
Udoka led the Celtics to the NBA Finals last season in his first season as head coach and is considered one of the rising coaching stars in the league, but obviously that is now in jeopardy.
Yeah, and again, unprecedented because we have seen bans like this in sports, but usually it's the league that comes down on coaches or players. You remember the Houston Astros when they had their scandal there with with hitting the trash cans during the World Series, and they suspended all of those coaches for the Astros and really kind of came down, Major League did. But for a team to do this, a team to literally tell their head coach, the face of their franchise, that you cannot even be on the facilities, like in your office for a full year, is really unprecedented. And of course, you know, people have been, you know, there's details out there here and there, whether unconfirmed reports and things like that, but still
so
very stark.
Question here, just to clarify, this is because of a alleged consensual intimate relationship?
Yes.
Those are the allegations?
Yes.
So I don't know, I wouldn't say shocking or unprecedented. I mean, when something like that happens, action needs to be taken, so rightfully so.
I think the team doing this and then taking this action for the whole year, I think is to me kind of surprised me when this news came down. But again, obviously something that is part of their team policies and probably something that Ime Udoka knew beforehand when he signed the contract to be there. So, yeah, it's a very interesting story.
To other news, business owners on the St. Mary's Strip want their voices heard. They are upset over a proposed pilot program to solve parking issues in the area.
All right, so this pilot program would give exclusive overnight parking to residents in that area in designated areas from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m.
Many business owners believe this would directly affect their bottom line and make it hard for people to visit the Strip. So they are meeting tomorrow morning to discuss what comes next.
All right, so on the other side of this thing, residents say that the amount of people who visit the Strip, and there's been a lot of people there that go pretty much, you know, every night, has led to more damage, trash outside their homes, and even violent behavior at times.
The meeting is at 10 a.m. at St. Sophia Greek Orthodox Church. That's on St. Mary's and is open to residents as well as business owners. And I will say that a couple years ago, I was looking into a little studio apartment there, and that was one of the first things that the gentleman who owned the home was very clear about. He's like, I do want to tell you, you know, we know this is a party area, but the biggest issue here for people who live here is parking.
Yeah.
So, and we've heard those reports of like how not just trash, like people using the front yards and backyards as restrooms. Like it's just bad. It can get uncomfortable, right?
Oh yeah,
so
absolutely.
This could be a good step.
Yeah, and it is a, you know, you have to balance out what the residents need and also the business owners here as well. I know a lot of those business owners also have been upset about all the construction that's been taking place along St. Mary's, so they feel like they're already losing money because of that. And then this is another thing that I think they kind of take as sort of an attack to their livelihood and their businesses, that if people are not going to be allowed to park in that area, what are they going to do? Maybe people don't go. Maybe they don't want to walk 30 minutes from a parking spot to go to the Strip.
Yeah.
And I think that's what is some of their concerns. But no, you mentioned it. I think the residents have every right to also want to share their thoughts and voice their opinions on this.
Well, yes, because you say it. There we see Mia.
Hey, Mia.
Oh, hi. I'm so sorry. just walking right in.
Last point here. Well, I mean,
Mia makes an
RJ,
appearance.
you're mentioning, you know, people who go to these bars not wanting to walk so far. But imagine people who live there, right?
Yeah.
Like, if you live there, have a home or renting, why do you need to walk 30 minutes to?
Well, that's
to
what
get
the
to a
business
place?
owners.
So,
yeah,
of
they're
course,
saying
right?
that their patrons are
But
the ones.
I mean, think about it. People go there usually to drink, right? So get an Uber.
Yeah.
But
There you
who
go.
am I to say? Anyways, the meeting is on.
Problem
when did we
solved.
say?
You're going to be at the meeting tomorrow.
10 a.m. Saturday
Like
morning.
Uber. That's the way
All
to go.
right. Hello. Good
Yes.
morning.
Hello.
Hey,
Good
Mia,
morning,
how you doing?
everyone.
Happy
I'm good.
Friday?
It's Friday. I was
Oh,
going to
thank
say
God. Yeah.
it's amazing because
Yeah.
it's Friday already,
Yeah.
right? Not really feeling like the first day of fall.
Not
I know
at
y'all were
all.
talking about that
Not
earlier.
at all.
A little muggy out there this morning, and really that's going to continue this
Yeah.
weekend. But we have high hopes for next week.
I got
Front's
high
on the way.
hopes.
And it looks to bring in some drier air that will at least give us a little taste of fall.
little relief.
Next week.
We'll take it.
So, yeah,
Anything.
anything at
What,
this
like
point,
10,
right?
Almost 10 degree
Ridiculous.
difference.
In the mornings, yeah, low 60s, certainly
that'll be
possible.
nice.
So that's
Yeah.
just going to be a lot better. We're trending in the right direction for that as
We're
well.
getting there.
Yes.
I get it.
Well, we'll start off with today's trivia question because we
go.
actually are going to start off talking about the tropics today. So where did the first flight that flew into a hurricane depart from? Choices: Mobile, Alabama; Bryan, Texas; New Orleans, Louisiana; or Del Rio.
Where did the first flight that flew into a hurricane depart from?
So where did it take off?
So these are those like NOAA flights, the Hurricane Hunter flights, or the ones that fly
It doesn't
around?
have to be a hurricane hunter.
Oh, okay.
Just way back when, in 1943.
Oh wow. Okay.
Where
I'm
did
just
they
gonna go
take
with
off?
probably the least likely. That one would think D. Del Rio.
Okay.
I was
What about
going to
you,
say
RJ?
that too, but you gave a shout out to Bryan. I know you're representing for the Bryan College Station
Bryan
peaks there.
College
Yeah,
Station.
so I don't know if you're trying to throw us off. You know what? Just for solidarity, I'm going to go D too, because
Gonna
that
go
felt
D?
like the very unlikely. Oh,
So
see.
is B.
Oh wow.
Wow.
Interesting, right? You
You were
wouldn't really
just-
think
yeah.
about that. So yeah, in 1943, Lieutenant Colonel Joseph Duckworth took off from Bryan Army
Great name.
Airfield and flew into a hurricane near Houston and
That should
Galveston.
have been the
What?
thought about like Bryan. It's close to Houston.
It is
Galveston.
close.
Yeah.
It wasn't that far
Like a
of a
safe
flight.
distance.
But yeah, I decided to go check it out. Was able to get some good recon on the
Okay.
eye of a hurricane and how it kind of functions out there in the air. I just thought that was an interesting
I was going to say,
little
if
fun
he did that for
fact.
work or pleasure. It was,
I think a little
bit
of
of
both. He
I've always
was a
wanted to do that. I always
professor
wanted to fly with those.
training there, but he definitely had some meteorology
Very cool.
enthusiasm and
Yeah.
things like
Before we
that.
go to, sorry, can
No,
I
it's okay.
say
Go
something
for it.
else? So tonight on the Night Beat, Erica is working on a story of the first Latina
Yes.
military pilot. So that's kind of cool.
There you go. Kind of ties in.
Yeah,
That's
very
it.
cool. Yeah.
All right, so yes, let's start talking about the tropics because we do have plenty to talk about in terms of the Atlantic basin. So earlier this morning, the tropical wave that the National Hurricane Center was monitoring, we talked about it yesterday in the Southern Caribbean, that actually strengthened and organized itself into now Tropical Depression 9. So this is the newest information that we got in on this tropical depression about an hour ago from the NHC. Those winds are sustained at about 35 miles per hour, gusting 45 miles per hour. It's moving to the west-northwest at 14, so you can see that it generally is expected to continue moving that direction over the Caribbean Sea here into the weekend. But as it churns over the warm waters out that way and it enters into an environment that's more favorable for strengthening, it is expected to strengthen into a tropical storm over the next couple of days, and then potentially even a hurricane as it takes a more northward turn early next week, approaching Cuba. And as of right now, according to the current forecast track, it could potentially strengthen into a major hurricane as it approaches the eastern Gulf by the middle portions of next week. So as of right now, notice this is no concern to Texas, but we are still going to keep really close eyes on it because any storm that comes close to the Gulf is still way too close to home. So we will keep eyes on that, and especially for our friends out in Florida as well. Hurricane Fiona, still a Category 4 storm out in the Atlantic. Tropical Storm Gaston, that is a fish storm. No really huge impacts there as that continues to turn out into the Atlantic as well. And then also this morning, National Hurricane Center has deemed this wave off of the west coast of Africa as Tropical Depression 10. Then there's another little wave out in the central Atlantic, only a low chance for development with that. So that pretty much takes care of the tropics. By the way, if that system in the Caribbean, Tropical Depression 9, does strengthen into a tropical storm, it would be given the name Hermine. That is the next name out there on the list for the 2022 Atlantic hurricane season. Back here at home, high pressure is in control yet again over the Lone Star State. A little bit of a different story off to our north. There's actually a frontal boundary. You can see the low pressure system near Bismarck kind of swirling up across the northern tier of the lower 48. That has a front attached to it, providing some wet weather across portions of the upper Midwest. That's approaching the Great Lakes region as well. Check out these temperatures: 55 in Bismarck this hour, upper 50s in Omaha. I wish that we had that here. I am very jealous. It is a much different story. This hour in San Antonio, we are 1 degree shy of 90. Feels at about 90. West wind on hand at 3 miles per hour, 89 in Bulverde. Converse, Stinson already at 90. It's 91 out in Castroville there in Medina County. Into this afternoon, Still going to be plenty hot. Temperatures climbing into the mid to upper 90s as we head into the afternoon hours as well. We will find plenty of sunshine. Good news is no issues if you're stepping out for any Friday evening plans or Friday football games, but it still will be plenty warm and plenty muggy. And that's going to continue as we head into the weekend as well. Temperatures in the morning starting off in the low 70s. That's going to continue into the beginning of next week. Then we start to see that front move in by Monday. And after that, those temperatures a little bit better. So low 60s in the mornings, more taste of fall, and then temperatures not as bad, upper 80s, low 90s into the afternoons.
We talked about that pumpkin spice, right? Just like coffee in general,
Yes.
it's still iced during the day.
Still iced for now.
But in the morning,
Especially next week. If you want to try it out, a hot PSL, next week might be your first chance for a while.
Mia, thank you so much.
Of course.
Thank you, Mia.
y'all.
Have a great weekend. Thank you again.
Y'all
for
too.
everything. Yeah. Speaking of the weekend, we got a lot of stuff taking place. But first, we're going to be talking about a San Antonio hotel
Yeah.
that's pretty haunted here.
It's home, San Antonio is home to a real life haunted house, but it's a hotel. And according to Hotels.com, it's one of the spookiest in the country.
That's right. It is a spooky season. Coming in at number 4 is the Emily Morgan, and its Gothic style and gargoyles make it, even looking just at the hotel, just looking at this thing is pretty spooky when you see it from outside.
No thanks. Well, Hotels.com ranked it demonic, as it was once the
Wow.
site of a medical center, including a psychiatric ward and a morgue. That is, I mean, the stories.
Yeah.
No thanks.
Some say there are creepier hotels in San Antonio. The Menger, I think, is one that people say that there's a lot of ghosts of the Alamo there.
Yeah.
And actually, last year, Yelp users ranked the Menger, there you go, even higher than the Emily Morgan. Okay.
Which I don't know, like, what happens at either of those. But back to this year's
Ghostly
list,
activity.
coming in at number 1 on Hotels.com, home of the Salem witch trials in Salem, Massachusetts. It's the Hawthorne Hotel. It's reported as one of the most haunted spots, and I don't think we need to explain why.
Okay. How much would they have to pay you to spend a night at the Emily Morgan by yourself?
No, there's things that you just, that I say I wouldn't do. Like, it doesn't matter how much you pay me. I don't want to go through that. It's like roller coasters. I hate them. Like,
Yeah.
why put yourself through that?
Just make it
it's
through
just
one
not my
night there.
thing. Nope.
Oh, okay.
Which one have you stayed?
Producer
super
Alyssa.
Congress. Alyssa, super producer Alyssa, says that she stayed at the number 3 hotel for spookiest, and it's in Chicago. What is it called again? Congress Hotel.
And
And
any
you didn't do a
ghostly
reel?
activity?
You didn't vlog? You didn't see anything? You didn't see anything? No one pulled your feet
Nada.
or something? Your hair? Well,
no ghosts? Casper didn't
did
show
you
up.
ask for a refund? She's saying no.
You should have. That would have been the full experience. They were talking
pull
about the
it out. What do
nurses
you
there.
have?
The nurses show up at the night, and then also the patients. But I have a sticker here repping the donkey lady. You don't have to zoom in, Robert.
I don't know what is
The donkey lady. This is an urban legend here in San Antonio.
Yeah, so what is the legend?
The legend is that this is a woman who is on the side of the road, and if you pass her up and do not help this woman, then the donkey lady will attach herself to you. She will get into your vehicle and haunt you for the rest of your life. Am I right about that, Alyssa? Alyssa.
I don't know. Okay. I don't remember the tale.
Donkey lady, barbacoa apparel.
Well, for
sticker.
happier things, it's Hispanic Heritage Month, and it's in full swing, and there's no shortage of ways to celebrate here in San Antonio. And this weekend, there are a lot of events happening. Here are some.
All right, yeah, so you can celebrate through art and dance with the Children's Ballet of San Antonio. They are performing at the Estancia del Norte Hotel tonight at 6:30. They'll be showcasing bachata and folklorico style dances.
You can also check out the SEC's Mariachi Festival that's happening down at La Villita in the Arneson River Theater. And they're showcasing dozens of local middle school and high school mariachi bands. It's totally free with plenty of food and vendors too. So I'm sure the vendors bring cash.
Yeah, I love to see the kids doing that there. Also, so we don't want to forget about some other events taking place. Sunday, Ciclovia. This is, of course, this big bike, skate, or walk car-free event through the streets of San Antonio, and this year the route will shut down Main Avenue through downtown up through Alamo Street, right past KSAT 12.
Yeah, and tomorrow is the 9th annual Head for the Cure. It kicks off at 8 a.m. at Providence Catholic School. And this is a really, really big event. It's a 5K. You can still sign up. And I do want to say, if you go to our website, we have an article there, and you can use the code KSAT, K-S-A-T, to receive $5 off your registration. So you can still register. And this is, this Head for the Cure was founded in memory of our former KSAT News Director, Mr. Jim Boyle, and he died back in 2014. So this is a beautiful way to honor him. And those who are still battling, those who have unfortunately passed on, due to brain cancer. Yeah,
so this event obviously very near and dear to our hearts. You hear about us talking a lot about Jim. I fortunately got to know him very well. He hired me here at KSAT 12, and he was a great guy, and also an awesome newsman as well. Very old school news guy. He was always about that life, for sure.
I hope y'all can make it to some of these events this weekend. Enjoy your Friday. Happy Friday. We'll see you Monday at 11 a.m.
Beware of the donkey lady.